Hello, everybody. Hebro77 here, and today I want to talk about something a little bit serious. As you know, or as you might not know, Scare Performance and Sandy Diva have been having a disagreement. Now, I'm downplaying it just a little bit to keep from further escalation. Right off the bat here, I want everybody to know that this is neither a hate video nor am I siding with either sides. Well, actually, I am obviously siding with one side, but I'm not trying to side with one side against the other. I am trying to keep both sides completely neutral. But before we go any further, perhaps I should talk about what it is that we're talking about. Now, here is a little bit of background information. Now, in this video, I will not be talking about names. I will not be talking about what's going on behind the scenes, but rather talking about the people involved and the people who are directly involved. And the reason why I'm making this video is yes, both of these people are my friends. Sandy is my friend, Scare Performance is my friend. But I feel that Sandy, in this case, has been done wrong by Scare Performance. And I'm going to show you why that is here in just a moment. First, a little background. So, a lot of us, as you know, we belong to groups, and some of these groups, there's a lot of chit chat going on, there's chatter back and forth. Well, one day, there was a video that was called upon our attention in one of the groups. I'm not going to mention the name of this group or any other names that are in that group, but I will say that they called this video or this live stream to our attention. Now, I had seen part of the live stream, but I didn't see the end. What I do oftentimes is I'll watch it in pieces and parts. Like I'll watch something now, then I'll watch a little bit later, and so forth and so on. Very rarely though will I watch something right when it's live. And when I do, I tend to hop in and out. This case, in this particular group, it was called to my attention a certain part of the video clip. Now let's take a look at that video clip.
Oof. It kind of ruined the motivation to. Didn't really well that and reading slides. Yeah, I know. I tried. I'm like, if I can't read it, I don't want to read these slides. I'm done. Well, it's an inside joke, people.
Okay, right there he says it's an inside joke. And when I first saw this, I didn't really think much about it. And I even said in the group, I said, well, that's just Dan. That's just the way he is. And, he likes to bust people's balls. He likes to, he likes to bust people's balls. He likes to joke about everything. He makes everything into a joke. Well, what I didn't realize was the context in which this was taken. This was something that was going on behind the scenes that I had no idea what it was until Sandy said something. And Sandy mentioned in the group that this had been a thing that they had talked about. I think back in July, she talked about she wanted to continue doing the slides, and he didn't want to do them anymore, and he wanted to do it in a different way. And he wanted to do it in a way which would cause her to do more work. And he wanted to basically go back to doing it to the old way, which is showing the visual, the picture, and then talking about it without having any sort of context or wording there at the bottom to show, okay, this is the way, this is current reality, and this is the reality that we remember, or this is the way we remember, and this is current reality. Anyway, he didn't want to go through all that, and they got into a big, here, let me readjust my camera here. They got into a big to do over this, and so come to find out, it wasn't an inside joke. When he mentioned this on the air, it was him poking at her live on the air, saying something that should have been said in private, which, that's what we're supposed to do with a friend, is to pull them to the side and discuss these things in private, and to work them out in private, and to not make a video or go live and say it live. Now, did Dan know what he was doing when he said that? Obviously, he was sitting there chuckling about it, and so was Fizzy Pop. They were both chuckling about it. But obviously, Sandy didn't find it to be all that amusing. And, the whole thing of it was, you guys are supposed to be friends, all right? And you and I and Sandy are all supposed to be on the same level. We're all supposed to be friends, right? I've known you guys for about 6 years now, and we were all friends, and and there has been disputes with Dan, or Scare Performance, excuse me, in the past before. Now, I'm not going to throw any names out there, but you can go back and you can watch the videos. There was videos on some of these other people. In fact, he just recently he just recently posted videos a few months ago about Lone Eagle, and him and Lone Eagle. That was not their first spat that they had, if you will. I guess spat's the wrong word. That's like what you use if you're a married couple, but I guess it could be used if you're friends. I don't know. And he said that he tried to reach out to Lone and so forth, but that's irrelevant to the conversation. And I'm kind of going off track here a little bit, but this is somebody that you worked with for years, that you've known for years, and that you were supposedly friends with. Well, do you do that to a friend? You call them out live on the air? That is puzzling to me. And so, not even really in response, but more like Sandy saw that, and it hit her on a personal level. I can tell you this. And she wanted to respond. Now, she responded in a way, she wasn't making a hate video. She wasn't making a response directly to Dan. But she did want to show him, hey, wait a minute. Now, you may be able to fool the audience into thinking that that was all an inside joke and you were just clowning around like you usually do. And a lot of people use humor, by the way, to mask pain. I know how that is, because I've used humor to mask pain before, and I've made mistakes, and I've I'm not one to sit here and throw stones because I've done stuff too. I've made videos that I thought was, I'm goofing around or joking around. Um, but as it turned out, that hurt the other person's feelings, and what you don't realize is that sometimes the jokes can get too far. Sometimes they can go over the line. And sometimes that just that little poke, that one less poke, can cut into a person like a knife. There's joking around, there's busting someone's chops. I get that. I've done that. But there's also um, going over, crossing the line. And so far, this was not crossing the line. This little thing, was it bad? Yeah, I mean, a little bit, and it kind of hurt Sandy's feelings a little bit, but not really to the point where she was all filled with rage or anything like that. But at any rate, she wanted to make a video expressing her point and sort of like, no, no, no. Look, I'm not going to let you get by with this because here's, here's what you're talking about. It's not an inside joke. And here's what I want to show the audience. I want to show the audience the difference between um showing slides and what we used to do before, and how much better the slides are. She was just clap backing, is what I call it, to Dan. It was not meant to be hurtful, in my view. It wasn't even meant to be a thing of anger. She wasn't even mad at that time. She was just a little upset. She was a little hurt, but not to the point where she was um, just devastated. She was just trying to point out, my goodness, you're having this petty argument, over slides, mind you. So she just wanted to say, hey, no, no, wait. Here's what Dan is talking about, and here's what really happened, and here's what I'm talking about. So it was just a short video, or not a short video, a live stream, just to make a point. She didn't mention Dan's name, didn't say anything about Scare Performance. That wasn't even in the title. They did talk about him a little bit towards the end, as you could see, because you yourself did a rebuttal video on something that should not have been a rebuttal about. And no offense to Brian, but this is how you share videos, just like this. You get on YouTube and you use your StreamYard, share screen. It's just easier, and that it's just a better way to do it. I'm not trying to bust your chops or anything, Brian, but yeah, Dan had kind of a good point when he did point that out in his video coming up. But anyway, I'm messing with you a little bit, okay? I'm just giving you, hey, it's an inside joke. Anyway, let's go ahead and we'll watch a little bit of this. Let's see, make sure I am presenting, and I am. Okay, good. Now we do
performance with Snow White, the color of her dress. So I could have yellow, blue, and white, and people could see it, because seeing it strikes a memory. So that was number one why I did it, was to have side by sides and let people decide what was their memory. But it also helped me later on with the words to understand what I was talking about. As we know, things change repeatedly. They don't just
Pause it.
change
It won't
once.
pause
It's not
that
like
way. So I've got the audience. I got the chat. Got the chat going here. I don't know if you could see it in this little square or whatever. But I got it up there just in case you need to see it. Because this way you'll see all the people who backed her up when she did this video. Here we go.
you know, actually some things do change once. We'll say Bernstein Bears. I don't think they change. That's changed. There may be more changes. I haven't looked. But for example, I don't think that one's changed. But Star Wars has changed 100 times. Back to the Future 100 times. There's all these different changes. Having the graphics shows me when I didn't notice something before.
Now, I don't necessarily agree with all the Star Wars changes, and I don't necessarily agree with all of the Back to the Future changes. But I certainly, one thing I do not do is mock and make fun of people who talk about these things. I'm just saying that's not my style. Let's go on.
And there's a good chance I didn't notice it was because it changed later on. But the words are there to tell me what we talked about. The words are also there as a form of subtitles.
I came in
You
and said
can't
Happy
listen to the
Tuesday.
show, at least you can
I
read
knew
along.
what was going on.
Or if, God forbid, you can't hear, you're deaf, you can read along. Those words help.
This part, she's trying to make the point that you could, if you can't hear, you could read along. That is a really good point, actually. The words, what you'll see in the next video. Let's go on.
Don't have to read them. That is what I said. I said you don't have to read them. We can just show them and just talk. But I guess that wasn't good enough. What was asked of me was to create separate folders, another 2 to 4 hours of work. And I couldn't agree to that. That was the truth. It's not an inside joke. It's just something that was asked and I could not agree to. But the point is, the whole point of this show isn't to talk about that. It's to literally show you the difference and get your actual opinion on which you prefer.
You see right there, all she did was she's showing this to counterpoint Dan's original argument. She's trying to show that people really do like the slides. And then, of course, in the next video, he says, well, people don't like the slides, blah, blah, blah. But we'll get into that when that video comes up.
Do you prefer me just to throw images into a folder? Because that's what we did before. And as soon as Brian gets here, we can show those folders. But before I go further, does anyone have any questions in the chat before I go further?
Let's see, I've got the chat.
Nope. Not yet, Ed. I haven't talked to anybody. I've been sick the past 2 days. I have a picture of it saved. We can even show it tonight. I don't mind showing it on my show.
And of course, there is, now look, there is dead air right there, but it's not like it's an hour long. It's not like it's 30 minutes long. It's just not even a minute long, I don't think. He criticizes them in the next video, which you will see, for having dead air. Now, even some of the professionals have dead air. But I digress. That's not what we're here to discuss today. Like I said, this isn't a hate video. This is a what the heck is going on video. Basically, what I want to do is sort of bridge the gap there. I want the audience to see both sides of the story. I want them to see my point of view, and I want them to see, most importantly, uh, we have two friends here that are having this dispute, and one friend went about it completely the wrong way. And in my opinion, that was Scarab Performance, who should have, before he inside joked, inside joke on the air live about Sandy, about any of it, in my opinion, should have pulled her to the side in Hangouts and talked to her about this, or send her a message in Messenger. They should have settled their differences backstage, where where we should all settle our differences, not to go, as you will see here coming up, and make a video, um, basically alienating her, alienating the community. In my go, we have the live chat. Okay, here we go. We have the live chat up, and here is Scare Performances take on Sandy Slide Skills Mandela Monday. He changed the name of it. He changed the name because the name of this was Making Fun of Mandela Nerds. I wish I had a snapshot of that, because that's what it was originally called. In fact, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look.
Man, remember Fiverr?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. NSA Fiverr, who said you guys don't even notice, he like wrote, he's like telling me, he quit my broadcast because he said, and I quote, because you made a video or a voiceover for a guy that put out a book, and his book was about love and
Changed the
light,
title.
our new age concept.
Changed
So
the
I'm gonna go
title.
stream with a witch.
So I'm gonna go stream with an ex-Satanist. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
the
oh,
Satanic
okay,
drama was kind of my favorite because it made so little sense to me.
it made none, because that Monday before that, like, he left on like a Wednesday, but like that Monday, he was like, I just want. Remember, he went when we were live. He was like,
He changed the title of this, then changed the thumbnail, but here is the title. The original title was Making Fun of Mandela Nerds. I wonder why he did that. I guess because he was afraid he would alienate his audience. He would alienate his comrades. Um, but I can only speculate. I'm not saying that is the case, but it is interesting. It is interesting that he changed the title. Let's go on.
I want to tell her about how great Scarab is.
Yeah.
And how I really enjoy working for him. And he's just the greatest guy ever. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And then Wednesday comes around, he's like, you suck. I can't work with you anymore because you promoted a love and light channel. I'm like, dude, I didn't know he was love and light. I didn't know what the book was about. I was just trying to help a
The recording
it was like a year before I met him. Like, what the fuck? Dude, I had to put up so much shit.
So if this is about Sandy, why is he talking about other Mandela affected channels?
I got this crap. We were just trying out Rumble, and we were just kidding, just making fun of Sandy slides, okay? And this is legit, man. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, man. This is how it is. So then all of a sudden, Sandy goes bad on me, and she goes in. She does like a whole broadcast talking about how great her slides are, and about how horrible I am, and how Teresa is like. Now she jumps in. Teresa's like, yeah, Dan. Then what'd she say? She was like,
she said, this is revenge.
Revenge, Dan, for making me cry during COVID.
Because I guess
Now,
she's the one that tapped.
Let
me pause it right here a
Yeah.
second.
Oh,
Now, I will admit, I made videos about Saggy. I've gone live on air, not just the whole Saggy might be dead thing, which everybody did jump on me about that one. But I've made other videos that's made people upset. The different down those videos. And I remember a time you got on to me for my mistakes. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not pointing the blame at you specifically. Like I said, this is not a hate video. I know it seems like it's coming off as one. But you and Sandy are both my friends. And if it had been reversed and she had said something that hurt you, I'd be making the same video. But I can tell, and I can tell you, when one of my friends is hurting and I can see that they're hurting, I'm going to stand up for them. Now, this is going to piss a lot of people off, and I'm probably going to lose subs. And so be it. But I want the truth out there, and I want, well, and I just want there to be both perspectives. I want that audience, I want the chat to know exactly what went on. I want the chat to realize this isn't a feud. This isn't a YouTube war. This isn't let's pick sides. This is just the disagreement the two of them have. And I'm asking Dan, man to man, talk to Sandy. Talk to her in private. Settle your disputes, man. I mean, come on. I may sound a little old-fashioned, and and they put all their emotions out there. You and I, we may have a disagreement or two, but we mask our anger and we mask our sadness with humor. I mean, come on. I know that because I do it myself. I make jokes and I bust people's balls. I do the same thing that you do, except, you're the king of it. You're the king of trolling. It's right there in your title. But here's what happens. Here's what the devil does. Here's the deception that that Satan has on us. Don't you know that Satan, you like to quote scriptures, don't you know that Satan tries to divide and conquer? He tries to separate husbands from wives, brothers from sisters, so forth and so on, friends against friends. Can't you see that? I got this light on. Hold on. I'm getting glare up my glasses like crazy. I'm going to take them off, actually. There you go. Can't you see that that's what's going on here? There's this deception is going on between the ranks, and he's trying to divide you guys. He loves this. And what you're doing by doing this, you're letting the enemy do that. You're letting the enemy control you. I mean, come on. You guys have been friends for over well, maybe not over, but for 7 long years now, you guys have been friends. And I think that you need to be the bigger man and step up and come in and apologize. And not only do you need to apologize, 7. I'm just a goofball that makes all those silly little stop motion movies. And you know what else? When I make those movies, it ain't because I'm making fun of y'all. It's because I'm holding you up to high regards. I'm doing it in reverence to you. I ain't doing it to make fun of nobody. I'm doing it in reverence. Do you see the difference? I did it because I admired you, man. Well, you know what they say, don't meet your heroes. I guess it's true. Anyway, just something to think and ponder about. You can see what the enemy does to families and friends. Don't let this destroy you guys. Both of you. I'm talking to both of you right now. Don't let the enemy destroy you. That's really all I got to say about this. I mean, I could show another clip and I could show you talking about how Brian's unprofessional and blah, 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 but I made my point, brother. So you take from this what you will. And I'll see all of you who have watched this video and supported my channel and have supported Sandy and her channel and Brian and heck, even Scared Performance. I hope he does well. I don't wish anything but good things for you. You know that? That's right. Like I said at the beginning, this ain't no hate video. You know, I just want to pull you in the right direction. All right? So until next time, I'll see all you guys later. And thanks for watching. And please continue to subscribe and yada, yada, yada. You know, I don't like to say all that stuff because this ain't that kind of video. But I'll leave you with this. Love your enemies. Love your neighbor. And love yourselves. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.